So I'm incredibly racist against people who don't have SPR type builds in this day and age. Knowing what we know about how well you can stretch out the AR-15 platform, why wouldn't you have something like this? And I don't mean a 16-inch build like this one here, simply with, you know, a longer barrel. I'm talking about the optic setup and everything like that. So why did that lock up? So today we're gonna zero in this new build, this new upper, and we're gonna see if it's accurate with different types of ammo, shit like that. Obviously this is gonna be a little bit of a half and half where I'm at the range and I'm talking here. The reason for that is because that range day was not the best for this new upper. And I'm gonna explain what the deal is. But first, obviously, citralube.com, use code Agent Orange, 10% off. Every sale helps the channel. It helps buy the ammo, pay for the gas for me to go out and film. So thank you to everybody who you know, has placed an order. And if you like the product, fucking drop it down in the comments. Let other people know that this is legit shit and it works. But anyway, so I bought this new upper. It's a 16-inch Ballistic Advantage Hansen barrel and a Geisley Mark 8 rail, and I don't know what the actual upper itself is because there's no roll mark, so there's no keyhole or nothing. So when I take it apart, I'm sure we'll find out. But this unfortunately shit the bed at the range, and the reason for that is still unknown. All right, guys, if you did not know, infinity targets are great targets. I don't have a discount code for you because I'm not that cool. Elijah, if you're watching this, if you give me a discount code, make it like fuck Netanyahu or something like that, for 6,000,000% off. So the trick with these targets though, you can't just go get any white paint. They sell a paint that works, but the paint you need needs to be primer only. A lot of spray paints, especially the cheap stuff, are paint and primer. And when you spray it on the infinity target and then you shoot it, it flakes. It's not a good hit. And so when it hits, it's not just the bullet hole. It's like the bullet hole and like half an inch or more around it where the paint just starts to crack and fuck up. So only get primer. This is loud ass wood. All I've got is white. The trick to zeroing on an infinity is to actually have white for the target and then something like orange works pretty well. Because obviously when you shoot it, it turns into a black dot. Well, if you use black, right, how are you gonna know you're fucking hitting it, right? So you use orange and the orange still works. But of course I forgot my orange paint. Not scientific at all. I just want to see how well she groups with these very common grain weights. And so the reason why I drew this is because I'm going to aim here. Generally speaking, like with a reticle like this, it's a dot in the center. If I'm aiming at a circle, how do I know what part of the circle I'm aiming at? Or if it's a square, right? So generally, if it's like a square, you aim at one of the corners, or you do something like this and make a point. So I'm gonna aim, assuming I can see it from this far, because I'm retarded, I'm gonna aim at the point, and we'll see how she does. It did not do very good. I tried doing an accuracy test right off the bat. I zeroed it on another target, and then I wanted to shoot roughly about 10 rounds of 55, 62 green tip and 77 OTMs just to see how accurate this thing is. Disregard the big holes here. Hold on, the sun's fucking beating down on me right now. So disregard the big holes here. That's the Prodigy. I was trying to zero it in. That's another issue that I'm fucking dealing with because as I've said in other videos, the optics mount fucking sucks. It was coming loose, and so I believe I've fixed it. So that's for another time. So I zeroed the rifle, and then I shot 10 55s and then 10 62s before I realized something was fucking going on. This 1 to 6, I could not see the fucking hits on target from where I was sitting. So it is what it is. But what happened is the shots basically just were going all up here, which is insane. Absolute fucking horrendous. At 100 yards, that's fucking insane. Come to find out, the muzzle device was coming off. I did not baffle strike my can that I'm aware of, which I'm taking off right now. Get off, motherfucker. Yeah, so no baffle strikes. Actually didn't check it at the range. That's my bad. But the muzzle device was coming loose. So despite cranking it on, it was starting to come off. And I don't necessarily blame the muzzle device for that. It just fucking happens, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I needed to crank it on more. Maybe I needed rock set. I like changing out a lot of things on my build. So, of course, some rock set would be nice. But it is what it is. So I put the muzzle device back on. I cranked it hard. And then I put the polonium on. I took the anechoic off, put the polonium on. And I tried shooting another group of 55, and it still was pretty shit. So 55, another 55, 62, which was just, I know 62 is not precision ammo, but I mean, fucking come on, man, this is terrible. And then 77s, again, pretty fucking trash. I'm trying to make it to where y'all can see it. This was another thing I was trying out, so disregard that. But the deal is that this accuracy fucking sucks. And so my plan is I'm going to strip the whole upper. I'm going to take the barrel out. I have a, what do you call it? An adjustable gas block on the way because it was very overgassed. And get a little more light in here. I can see my shit's a little dark. So the idea is completely strip it down and check the barrel. Make sure the barrel is not shot out. I don't think it is because the barrel looks brand new. When I got it in the mail, it looks brand new, but I could be wrong. They probably just took great care of the outside of it, but fucking completely shot out. The rail is definitely brand new. This thing is fucking spotless. It's a Geisley Mark 8. The overall cost for the whole thing was less than the rail alone. So the price of the Geisley Mark 8, the whole upper was less than that. So I got a smoking deal. But obviously if the barrel fucking sucks, I'm going to have to go get another barrel. And I don't think I can hit up Ballistic Advantage for that because of everything going on with them. But so the deal is you're going to kind of follow along with me as I diagnose this fucking thing and try to figure it out and get it to shoot better, because there's videos out there of this thing shooting sub MOA at 100 yards and then either sub or really close to sub MOA at like 200 or 300 yards. So the barrel is capable of it with good ammo. Obviously I know I was shooting factory 55 green tip and Frontier open tip match 77 grains, and I don't know if those are any good, but it's got to be better than fucking this. This was trash. But this series is going to be about me getting this thing to fucking work. And I know there's probably people out there that are like, oh, Waco sucks at shooting. His equipment fucking sucks, whatever. Here's the thing. I would rather be honest about my capabilities and about the gear that I have than to lie about it and only show you the hits and only show you the times that I performed super well, because I could be called on that later. Somebody could challenge me to fucking, you know, not a PRS, but like an accurized AR match and try to, you know, check my gangster basically, and I could fall flat on my face, because if I went out telling everybody that I was this fucking savant long range shooter, like that's just not the right thing to do. So I would rather be honest and show you my bad range days to have a little bit of fucking realism on YouTube, because I'm sure we've all seen it. There's channels out there where all they do is show you their hits. They show you their best times, They show you their best range days. And I'm not going to do that because sometimes I go to the range and everything I have shits the bed. Or I shit the bed. Like, my ability is just not up to par. Maybe that day I'm not feeling right or whatever. It happens. And so, for starters, like I said, stripping it down. New optic is coming. Not new, but it's an optic that I have that I let a buddy of mine borrow. And he's bringing it back. And we're going to slap that on here. Has a little bit more magnification. Has a way better reticle. And before you try to trash, you know, and say, well, it was a Swamp Fox, that's why it fucked up. No, dude, I've shot better groups than this on my 10.5 with this optic. So something is going on with this fucking barrel. Maybe it's loose. Maybe the barrel nut's a little loose. I don't know. But we're going to find out. And so, you know, that's what this little series is going to be about. Now, I was trying that with a red dot. Man, I fucking suck. Nobody watching these videos should ever take any of my advice. The IDF is actually formed, or was formed, by 3 separate terrorist organizations that realized that if they could combine their forces, then they could, you know, take more land for themselves, kill more Palestinians because of, you know, the Zionist rats that they are. And so they formed the IDF. Well, of course, they have mandatory military service. So your average Zionist most likely has some form of military training. So you may look at this drill and say, well, that's a little unrealistic. We're talking about Zionists. We're talking about the ones that, you know,
are their gun before they start shooting.
Yeah, they're actively fighting for the nation state of Israel, which, by the way, it's not a country. That land was not promised to them. They're gay and retarded. But let's get back to the drill. So that range day wasn't a complete bust. Obviously, the rifle's not super accurate right now, but it's good enough to hit a man-sized steel at 100 yards. Well, this is a paper, but I mean the steel I had out there. The steel I have actually is a smaller than man-size IPSC. It's not a full size. It's maybe like a 60 or whatever percent. So it wasn't a complete bust because we were able to run some drills. One of my favorites, the gas station drill. You guys have seen me talk about it a million times and show it in the videos. The reason why I think that drill is so important is because it's based in reality. And I say based in reality because I compare it to other drills that I've seen people try to practice on the flat range. And a long time ago, when I was, you know, doing a lot more training with, you know, shooters up here in Washington, that was the box drill was one of the most common drills. And I never understood why we were doing that drill, because think about a time when you've gone out into public and just walked in a fucking imaginary square. Like, why do you do that? You don't do it at home. You don't do it at the store. You don't do it at the gas station. You don't maneuver around 3-inch high fucking fluorescent orange cones pretty much any time in your life. So doing that drill doesn't make a lot of sense. And before the NRA fucking instructors come in here and try to justify why, follow along with me here on a reason why I prefer realistic drills. One of my favorite drills of all time, I actually don't even know the name of it. I think it's called like the Get Off the X drill or something. It's basically you stand stationary, timer goes off, and you need to move very quickly somewhere else while drawing and shooting. So it could be backwards, could be to the side, could be diagonally, whatever. I like that drill because, you know, it gets you used to clearing a good amount of distance away from the target that's in front of you, and you have to unholster, concealed, unholster, put rounds on target, whether it's point shooting or actually, you know, getting a red dot or your irons or whatever on sight or on target and getting effective hits. I like that drill because I had to do it in real life. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So This is like 4 years ago at this point. It's 2026. This was 2022. I'm in Phoenix. I'm filming for a client. I'm in a hotel. I come out. I go. I pay my parking for the street. Which, by the way, charging people for parking is a fucking sin. It's fucking retarded. I hate it so much. Anyways, so I'm walking back to the hotel, and this crackhead like materializes out of nowhere. And so I see him, and he's moving closer to me. We're like kind of walking towards each other. And yeah, at this time he doesn't have anything in his hands, and he's walking closer. And as he gets closer, he puts his hand in his pocket, and he comes out super quick. And he doesn't like fully lunge, but it's kind of like a mini lunge. And so I see that he's pulling out a knife, and he fucking comes at me. And since I had been watching him, I had a pretty decent reaction time. And I fucking jump back like faster than I've ever done in my life. I fucking like one giant leap away from this fucking guy. And as I'm doing it, I've got my hand on my gun. I'm appendix carrying at this time. And I start clearing the holster. At the time, I was appendix carrying a P320, which in hindsight, I was probably more in danger of the P320 than I was the crackhead with the knife. But anyways, I jump back, start clearing the holster, and I see that he is just frozen. Like, he has not moved. So he had pulled the knife, and when I jumped back and he saw that I was fucking pulling a pistol out of my fucking waistband, he fucking froze. And you have to have discretion. This is something that not a lot of people fucking teach when they're talking about self-defense shootings and whatnot online, is that not every time the gun comes out, you have to fucking shoot. There's FUDs out there that are like, if you pull it, you have to shoot it, because in court, they're going to say that blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not a lawyer. Shut the fuck up. I've been in a shooting, which will be a topic of another video. A buddy of mine has been in a shooting, and neither one of us saw a single fucking day in court, right? Not a single day in court. No arrest, no nothing. Like, so every situation is different. But again, topic for another day. And so I've got my hand on my pistol. It's almost completely out of the holster. I'm yelling at this guy, fuck you, stay away from me. I'll fucking kill you. I was a little on edge, I'll be honest, because this whole incident took place within 90 days of my shooting. So I'm not going to sit there and tell you that if you pull your gun on someone, you have to sit there and do that fucking NRA range instructor fucking faggot shit where you're like, put the gun down, sir, please stay away from me. Oh my God, that's gay as fuck. And I don't care if that gets pulled up in court. There was a guy who watched me in this whole knife encounter. There was a witness to this whole thing. And if he would have came to court because I shot this guy, which I didn't need to, because he had stopped, the threat stopped, he would have testified that I was saying, fuck you and I'm going to kill you, whatever. I don't have to be nice to you. You pulled a knife on me. I don't need to say, please stop. Fuck you. You pulled a knife on me. I'm yelling at you and I'm saying some pretty nasty stuff. So I basically, once I noticed he wasn't really moving, I holstered the gun but kept my hand on it. And I basically walked backwards all the way to my hotel. And I kind of glance over my shoulder every now and again, make sure I'm not running into shit. And by the time I cleared the block and got into the hotel, I realized I was probably fine. And so all this to say that I think drills that are based in realism, realistic movement, realistic round counts, realistic whatever, is a lot more important than trying to bully people on the flat range into thinking that, well, because you can't fucking walk in a perfect square of these 3-inch high orange cones, that all of a sudden you didn't perform the drill correctly. But you can perform every other drill that's based in realism correctly. So all this to say that if you're going to go out to the range and you really want to push yourself, you really want to try to, again, put a little bit of realism in your drills, think of situations you're in all the time, right? So like grocery store aisles, right? If you have multiple vehicles, make make aisles, right? Or if you have barricades or anything else that you can fucking get, have aisles that you maneuver in. Have, you know, your vehicle, because again, my gas station drill that I always talk about, you're always filling up your car. So use that. Use your actual vehicle at the range. Don't shoot it, but maneuver around it. And so any other situations you find yourself in a lot, you know, if you work a fucking desk job and you're sitting all the time, maybe take a chair out with you and fucking do drills where you're standing up or unholstering from that position. If you work security or you're a police officer and you're seated in a car all the time on patrol or whatever, then do drills that involve getting out and opening your door and shit. Like, make your drills realistic to what you're seeing and doing in real life. And that's the whole point of this message. Obviously, you're going to see a lot more of this. I'll do another video where I tear down the upper. We're going to look at the barrel. I don't have a bore scope, but I'm just going to visually check it. And if it's shot out, it's new barrel time. I don't think that I can send this barrel to Ballistic Advantage given the problems that they're having right now. I highly doubt it would ever get warranty replaced. But the whole point of this is to kind of take you through the process of getting new equipment and trying to make it work as good as it can. So thank you for watching. That's pretty much about it. Yeah, see ya.